Hello, good morning. I'm doing an impromptu vlog. I really wanted to read a Christmas romance, so I found Kiss Her Once for Me on Scribd, and I'm going home for the holidays. I'm gonna be traveling. I have to fly twice, you know? I have to fly there and I have to fly back. And by the time I fly back, it still won't even be the end of December. So I am gonna try to squeeze in a few like Christmassy romances. I don't really know how much I'm gonna read when I'm home because I have a lot of people to see and many of them I haven't seen since February of last year. This year, why do I keep thinking it's 2023? So I don't really know how much reading I'm gonna get done. That's why I'm starting a little bit early because I don't actually fly home for another 2 days. And I just want to sneak in 2 little holiday books for the season, you know, because I don't actually read very seasonally. Like, I guess the most seasonally I read is Halloween, but I read spooky stuff all year long. If anything, I read more spooky things during the summer than I did this year during Halloween, but whatever. I also have been hearing people rave about Kiss Her Once for Me. Erin loved it. Aden in the Discord was talking about how they were kicking their feet and twirling their hair reading it, and it was like literally saving them from depression. So I was like, I need that. I need something like that. Listening to Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail and I'm loving it, but I'm about to go to lunch with a friend and I realized that my outfit is giving The Rock. The trash man is here to pick me up, so. Hello, I'm doing my first ever Patreon spreads. Erin has joined me and I do have to leave at 6:30 because I have a holiday party at my partner's work, but I wanted to update y'all because I ended up starting Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. As soon as I started Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, I knew I made the correct decision because I'm loving it. I was skeptical because I didn't really love Astrid as a character in Delilah Green Doesn't Care, but I'm not saying I love her in this, but I really love her love interest, and I love that she's questioning her sexuality and she's going through this moment of like, why have I always been with men all of my life, and like it's never felt the way that I'm feeling right now with this woman. And the dedication says, this is for those who figured it out later in life. I couldn't. I love it so much. I love our main characters a lot, the way they interact with each other. The other thing that I really love is I have such a soft spot for like home renovation shows. They're very comforting for me, like Catfish home renovation shows. That's the range that I have. But I love a good home renovation show, and this has a home renovation aspect to it. I love it. I love it. I love sapphic romance is what I'm coming to realize. Like sapphic romance, I'm twirling my hair, kicking my feet, screaming, squealing, crying, throwing up. Good morning, it's the 18th. You know, I'm feeling pretty good today. It's actually my mom's birthday and it's sometimes a really hard day for me, but today I'm feeling okay. And I think it's because I saw friends yesterday. I saw the roomies yesterday. I fly out to see my family tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It sucks because today I actually do have to work. I work until 6, which is not too bad, and then I'm finally on vacation. But this weekend, I did a lot of book shopping. You know, I was trying to get presents for other people and ended up getting presents for me and other people. And then I also came home yesterday and had some book mail, but I didn't have time to unbox it on camera. Impatient me, I just ended up opening it on my own. So I will show you that in a little book haul. But right now I'm gonna eat a crumble cookie because I got some of those yesterday, and I might make a matcha. Also, I finished Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. So, should we do our little let's make a matcha and talk? Today, we're making a matcha with some vanilla collagen because these knees hurt. I just don't understand why older people don't tell you to not get old, you know? Like, why didn't you warn me? Okay, so Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, I'm pretty sure I said it in the beginning, is part of the, I think it's called the Bright Falls series. So the first one was Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which I read earlier this year and I gave 5 stars. I loved it so much. And it also made me realize that I really like romances that have heavier topics in them. I love small towns. I do enjoy like a soulmate situation, you know? I'm not bothered by that. I love when a character is going through something difficult in their life. And that's happened in both Delilah Green Doesn't Care and Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. But anyway, I've noticed that I really like heavier topics. And so I think that's why these books really work for me, is not only are they sapphic and in a small town, they're also dealing with people going through these really big changes in their lives and like getting past certain traumas, I guess, or like issues. I think maybe it makes it feel a little more realistic for me because people are messy and romances are messy, and like getting into a relationship can sometimes be messy. So with Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, she's an interior designer. She's gone through a really bad breakup and she has a really strained relationship with her mom. The other thing about Astrid is her business isn't doing that well. So she gets the opportunity to be the lead designer in an HGTV show where she'll be renovating the Everwood Inn, which is kind of like a historic piece of Bright Falls history. And so she's very excited for this opportunity because obviously it'll help her with her own business. And then you have the love interest, who is Jordan, who is the granddaughter of the Everwood owner, Prue, and she is the lead carpenter on this situation. And Astrid and Jordan get off to a really bad start. The best part about this book, and I'm not saying this is the most entertaining book, I gave it 4 stars. I don't think it's as good as Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I think that has a little bit to do with the fact that I don't really like Astrid as a character. In here, you get to like her a little bit more. You get to know her a little bit more. Obviously, it's her book. But I really like Jordan in this book, which is what made me like kind of giddy. But what really got me, what really made me love this and want to go out and buy it, is the fact that Astrid is in her 30s figuring out her sexuality. I don't think that gets written about enough. I don't think that gets talked about enough, especially depending on your generation. Like, figuring out your sexuality is such a difficult thing. So I just really loved the fact that she was in her 30s trying to figure it out. And it was like being a teenager all over again, where you're fumbling through these scenarios and situations and trying to figure out like what to do and feeling really innocent and naive to things. It was really a sweet dynamic. And Jordan was a really sweet and understanding love interest. Jordan was just very sweet, and I really liked her perspective more than Astrid. This gave me a little more appreciation for Astrid, but I definitely don't love her as a character still. But I do like her with Jordan. I don't know. It's complicated. Astrid's just like one of those characters. You know, you kind of are set up to fail with her as a character anyway, just based off Delilah Green Doesn't Care. But it's also really nice to see Delilah in this story and like what's going on with her. I loved those moments. But yeah, this is a 4 stars for me. This is definitely shaping up to be one of my favorite romance series, I guess, but I don't read a lot of romance, so take that with the tiniest grain of salt. So let me show you the haul. Obviously, I got Astrid Parker Doesn't Care because I knew that I really wanted it. So I ended up getting this, and it was in the buy one, get one 50% off sale. So I then also got Kiss Her Once for Me because we know that I'm gonna be reading that in this vlog, but I wanted to read it physically. My partner got me Count Your Lucky Stars, and the first one is Written in the Stars, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. Okay. So the reason I didn't get that is because I have never read Pride and Prejudice. I've never watched Pride and Prejudice, but Written in the Stars is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice. And I don't know, like, is it better to go in having some knowledge of it since it's a retelling, or does it even matter? I then got myself Half a Soul because Angela from Literature Science Alliance has been reading this, and she's been talking about it in our Discord, and she's made it sound amazing. So I kind of just went for it and decided to get Half a Soul because I think it's supposed to have those Regency vibes and be kind of dramatic, and it's like a fantasy romance-y type book. I've seen so many great things about it. A lot of people agreed that this was really fun and sweet, so I'm looking forward to this. And then my partner also got me The Spare Man. My friend Elizabeth was talking about how I would probably really like this because it gives cozy sci-fi vibes, and I tend to really love cozy sci-fi. She read it and really loved it, so I'm very excited to try this. And no, I have not read The Calculating Stars, but if I like this, maybe I will pick it up. So yeah, when I got home last night, there were 2 packages on my door. And so Heather got me Love Beyond Body, Space, and Time, which I'm so excited about and I'm so thankful for because I really loved Love After the End. I read this for Kim's Read It Down. It's a collection of short stories by queer and two-spirit Indigenous writers, and this is the first installment of that short story. I don't know if it would be like a series. I'm not really sure, but I'm very excited about this. Darcy Little Badger is in here again. Sherry Dimoline's in here. David Robertson, Richard Van Camp. There are so many great authors in here. I'm very excited. This one is not edited by Joshua Whitehead. This one is edited by Hope Nicholson. So the Love After the End is edited by Joshua Whitehead. But thank you so much, Heather. I really appreciate it. And then one of the sweetest humans, Robin from Robin Reads, got me 2 books. She got me volume 3 of Spy Family, which is so funny because this volume was so hard to find, which is why I put it on my wish list because I was waiting to see when it would come back. And I guess I wasn't paying attention because it's back in stock. But it was really hard to find for a while there, I think because of the anime. And she got me The Night Eaters by Marjorie Liu, who wrote Monstrous. Is that what it's called? Monstrous. And I'm very excited about this one. This just looks like something I would love. This just looks like me. When I saw this cover, I just had to have her. Already somebody's eye out of the socket. We love this. So yeah, thank you so much, Robin, for always just being so kind and getting me gifts for the holidays and my birthday and just like when I got a promotion. She's so sweet. And then the one that I'll actually be reading for this vlog is In a Holidays. So I did find another Christmas romance that I'm actually kind of interested in reading. This is like Groundhog's Day. Yeah, she relives Christmas over and over again. So it's like Groundhog Day. I don't know if y'all watch the Disney Channel original movie. I don't know what it's called now, but it's a Christmas movie where they're reliving Christmas every day. Do you know that movie? That's what this reminds me of. I wonder if the authors were inspired by this. I just found out that Christina and Lauren are 2 different people. Are their names Christina and Lauren? Yep, that surely is the case. So yeah, I will be reading these 2 for the rest of this vlog. If I can squeeze anything else in, I will, but I am trying to end this vlog the Friday before Christmas. So we will see. It's the morning of the 21st. I think it's the 21st. How is it that as soon as you go on vacation, you just lose all sense of time? But I want to do a quick update and let y'all know that I'm here at my family's. But also I started Honey and Spice on the plane because I wanted an audiobook to listen to, and that one happened to be available at my library. So I started listening to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to read in holidays now. I can't really find the audiobook, and I just don't want to read physically right now. Kind of lost a little bit of interest as soon as I started Honey and Spice because this is not a holiday romance. And obviously I didn't even start with a holiday romance because Astrid Parker doesn't fail. It's technically not a holiday romance. So this vlog kind of went off the rails because I was trying to do holiday romances. Anyway, I started Honey and Spice. I'm probably like 9% into it, and I'm really, really liking it. Like, I love the writing style. The first chapter sucked me in. It was a great plane ride. So I'm glad that I picked that one up. I'm glad it was available because I probably wouldn't have squeezed it in at the end of the year otherwise. But yeah, we'll see if I end up reading in the holidays. I doubt that I will read Honey and Spice on this trip because it's a pretty short trip for me. And I don't think I'll be getting a lot of reading in except for before bed. Hello, me and Olive are here. You can't see Olive because she's down here demanding a lot of attention since I've gotten home. But I got home last night, which is a relief. I love being home, but I'm also sad because I do really miss my family. So if you've made it to this point in the vlog, then you know I didn't really get the opportunity to step away and do vlog updates when I was at home. But on the plane ride back, I actually finished a whole book. So I think my last update, I did talk about how I was close to halfway through Honey and Spice, which I ended up starting on the plane there, and then I was listening to it before bed every night. But on the plane ride back, I ended up listening to All Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. It's like a Kobo original. I really could only find it through my library, and I'm sure you can find the ebook through the Kobo app since it says it's a Kobo original. I just don't know, and I've never looked into it, if they have an audiobook subscription thing similar to Audible or Libro FM. So those were the two books that I was reading during the trip. But right before I left, like the night before I left, I ended up finishing Kiss Her Once for Me, which I didn't have time to talk to you about because I left at like 6 in the morning that next morning. I've definitely unlocked a trope in romance that I know for sure works for me every single time, and that's when the characters are going through something, whether it has to do with grief, mental health struggles, and it's not like this character or this love interest that comes along is there to save them. That character is probably going through their own thing. It's just that they find each other at this specific time when they're going through this thing, and they sort of help each other through it or help each other realize certain things that they've kind of been afraid to face. I seem to love that in a romance. And I can't say like other tropes that I really love because, again, I don't read enough romance to know exactly all of the tropes that work for me. This is a second chance romance. I've heard that a lot of people don't really like second chance romances, but this also has like a love at first sight type of trope. I don't know if that's a trope, but this does have a love at first sight. So the two love interests in here are Ellie and Jack. And Ellie and Jack met Christmas of 2021, and they had a one-night stand, but both of them kind of fell in love with each other during that whole day that they spent together. But after that one-night stand, they went their separate ways, and they haven't seen each other since. And Ellie, her life is kind of falling apart, and now it's 2022, it's coming up on Christmas, and she ends up getting herself into a fake dating type of situation, fake engagement type of situation, and it turns out the person that she is fake engaged to is Jack's brother, and they have to spend another Christmas together, but this time it's obviously weird and awkward. I love both of our main characters, but I especially have like a soft spot for Jack. Even though you're really getting to know Ellie's situation, she is in a financial crisis. She lost a dream job. On top of the fact that she's still kind of pining over Jack in that moment during Christmas, and the fact that she feels as if she fell in love with Jack, and she's sort of going back and forth between this idea of like, is love at first sight really a thing? And is this what I'm dealing with? Or is there something else going on here? You know, she has her own mental health struggles. She has a really strained relationship with her mother, and you get to see all of those things play out. And the book really leads with that. You know this right away within the first chapter. The other really cool thing that I love, and this is something that I don't always love in books, so I would say for me this was done really well, is that Ellie also is an animator, and she is writing this story that she's putting on like a fan fiction site. And so she's basically writing / animating the story about her and Jack and how they met on Christmas, and she has a pretty large following, and there are inserts of that story. So you get to know the story of Jack and Ellie and how they met and how they fell in love. But that's how you, the reader, gets to know the story, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I don't normally love inserts. I can't say it doesn't always work for me, because obviously it worked in this book, but I'm typically very turned off by the idea of like written inserts. Like Fangirl's a really great example of that. I didn't understand the necessity of that, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, I'm really excited that I ended up loving this so much. I was nervous because I don't know if I love Christmas themed romances, but I do really like this one. I feel like the focus on Christmas isn't really there. It just happens to take place on Christmas. So I would for sure reread this every Christmas. And then at the airport and then on the plane flying home, I ended up starting and finishing All Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. This is a Christmas romance. I think it's a novella because I don't know how else I would have finished it so quickly. This one was very sweet. I would give it 3.5 stars. Again, I don't know if I love this trope or not. I couldn't say because I haven't read enough with it, but this is a friends to lovers. So you have two friends, Abby and Will. Will is an actor, but he mainly gets roles because he's extremely handsome. And so it's not that he's a good actor, he's just handsome. He's good to look at. And then you have Abby, who's the love interest, and she has been dealing with a divorce and sort of trying to figure out her life and how to let people in after this divorce. Will really wants to do this grand romantic gesture for Abby because he's realized that he's in love with her and he wants to be with her. He's just not sure that she is in love with him or if she's even ready to date again after her divorce. I think the thing I like about Talia Hibbert, and the reason I do give her books a chance, is because she doesn't really shy away from like mental health topics. She doesn't shy away from kind of darker topics that characters might be going through. And so even in this short book, you get discussions about divorce, abusive relationships, abusive parents, alcoholism. I really loved both of our main characters. They were very sweet. Will was like a little cinnamon roll, and Abby was more prickly, a little more grumpy. She has a lot of walls up when it comes to love and just sharing her feelings. I personally love a woman protagonist like that because it's relatable. And in theory, I really loved the grand gesture idea and just the way that Will went about it. But also, and this is why I'm not sure if I like friends to lovers, I can't say that I had a ton of investment in this relationship because so much was established way before you even know these characters. So like you do get a little bit of their dynamic, and it's really sweet how they know each other, and it's like, that's cute. But I also don't know the past. I don't know the dynamics of this relationship. I don't know how the pining was going for years before this all happens. So I do think this was an adorable story. It was very cute, a fast read. The writing is great. I always love that Talia Hibbert is sarcastic and there's a lot of banter, but I wasn't super invested in this relationship. Like I wanted them to get together in the end because it's sweet. It's a romance. That's to be expected. But when it's friends to lovers, and it's especially in a novella format, I don't know how invested you can really get into the relationship when you haven't even had the lead up to it. Like you don't know how this relationship has been established for so many years and how they've interacted with each other in all of those years, and like, was there mutual pining? You're just kind of taking things at face value. So maybe that's why friends to lovers is so hard for people to get on board with. I'm just believing you guys that you're in love with each other for like 72 years. I don't really know. But yeah, I thought it was a really cute little Christmas romance. Although again, The two Christmas romances that I've read, they just take place near Christmas or on Christmas. They don't feel Christmassy at all. And that was the same with this one. And then my last update is for Honey and Spice. This is the one that I'm not finished with, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it, except that I'm actually loving it. Like, this is 5-star feels. I want to run to the bookstore today and go get it, but do I have the energy to do that? Probably not. I think it could be a favorite of the year if I can finish it by the end of the year, but I have a ton of other stuff that I need to read. As if December isn't about to end like next week. Honey and Spice follows our main character Kiki, and Kiki goes to this university. At this university, she has this radio show where she gives a lot of dating advice, and she often uses that platform as a way to empower women. But there's this guy named Malachi who is newer to the university. He seems to be pitting women against each other. He's sleeping around with a lot of different women, and Kiki is just like, who is this man? How is he able to infiltrate these women's minds like this? But somehow Kiki and Malachi end up in a fake dating relationship for various different reasons, and I love the banter in here. As soon as I started this book, I immediately knew that I would love it because of the writing style. There is so much humor and banter, and there is a sense of lightheartedness in here as well, and it's just very funny, and I love Kiki as a main character, and I like her interactions with Malachi, but I also love her interactions with her best friend Amina. I feel like this is a book that I would go to time and time again. I mean, sure, I still have more than half the book to read, but I do feel like this is going to be a new favorite, something I'll want to revisit because I'm already loving the writing style. I feel really excited when I'm reading it. The writing is there, the banter is there, the humor is there. I love these characters. So I definitely think that this could be a favorite if I can finish it in time. I'm going to try to finish it today, but I have some reading sprints later, so I don't know if that's going to happen. So yeah, that is what I've read in the last like 2 weeks. That's what I've done in the last 2 weeks. I know this was supposed to be more of a travel vlog, but obviously that didn't really turn out that way. But you know, we read, we did some stuff, we got some B-roll, and here we are. And if you've made it this far into the video, please leave a snow emoji of some sort, whether it's a snowflake, snow coming from the cloud, whatever you want to do. And I also wanted to wish you all happy holidays, no matter what you celebrate. I hope that you have a wonderful time. I also hope that those of you who struggle with holidays know that I'm thinking of you and sending you so much love. And I will see you next time, whenever that will be. Bye.